How are we all doing? How are we all doing, guys? Let me finish uploading this. Stream should be starting now. Let me know if you guys hear me. Hold on. Let me finish uploading this. Music might be too loud. No, music might be too quiet. Hello, Kanj. Let's put up the music a bit. 1 second whilst I adjust everything. Let me know if the music is too loud, guys. If the music is too loud, we could get it sorted. Hold on, let me make Kanj a moderator. Boom! Kai James and that. No, mod. Alright, sick. Give me 1 second whilst I post everything and go live. Why did I change this? Music's fine. Amazing. That's what I like to hear. Stickers. Link. Tune in now. I'm also going to be streaming on Twitch and Kick. But I need to get that sorted. I'm multi-streaming. Alright, let me post that. Cool. How are we all doing, guys? Let me get started with streaming on X. Don't know if these works. Hold on. Kick, Twitch. Let me see. Let me get everything sorted. Hello, Dara, Idris, Summer Sam. Nice to meet you all. Nice to see you guys all. Nice to see all of you. Nice to see all of you guys. Let me just check if everything else is recording or streaming at the moment. My video download has been cancelled. Hold up a minute. Oh, my bitrate might be too high. Shit. Wait. Let me reduce the bitrate. Okay, let me know if the quality gets super bad because there's like a limit to the bitrate on YouTube and stuff. So I can't really... that's out of my control. But let me know if it just gets too blurry. And then I'll figure... Oh, let me just search this up. 1 second, guys. Claude. What is the maximum streaming bitrate for X, Twitch, and Kick? YouTube should be fine. Right, YouTube should be fine. Let me know if I'm too blurry or not. But yeah, YouTube should be fine. YouTube should... Oh, wait, shit, what is that? Christ, my towel stinks. Yes. Lovely. Christ, my towel stinks. Highest of the three, 9,000 video bitrate, and less 12,000 maximum bitrate. Supports a maximum bitrate 8,000. Every streamer gets it from day one. No partner requirements. The most restrictive enforces a 6,000 bit. What the shit? How about YouTube? Bitrate for YouTube. Well, I'm gonna be blurry as hell. YouTube works differently. This one isn't flat cap. 6,000, 10,000, 6,000. Okay, let me try lower it down to 8,000. Am I too blurry? No, I should be fine. 8,000. Apply. No, you should be getting 1080p by 60, mate. You need to up those numbers in the settings. Okay, this should be... Please start. Okay, Kick should be good. Twitch is the bummer here. Oh, frick you, Twitch. Gonna worry about Twitch later. Let's see if YouTube, Twitter works. Why is it not streaming on Twitter? Hello? Christ, my towel smells. Alright, buddy. Oh yeah, make sure you like, guys. Make sure you like. If you're enjoying the stream so far of me configuring everything, make sure you like. You actually haven't liked it because it still says 1 like. Alright, cool. Everyone should be... More people starting to join now. Right, so let me start breaking down the markets, right? Let's break down what we are currently seeing for today's market. Currently, it's not very favorable. The reason why it's not very favorable is because we are currently opened at 29,700, so around here. The reason why that is not... Remember, this is my regular trading hours, so I don't have extended trading hours on this chart. Right, there's no extended trading hours on this chart, so it only shows me the candles and a price action within the regular trading hours. Hence why you're not seeing like the current pre-session market price action. But essentially, we are opening at around 29,700. Well, 29,700. That is where the market is at currently. Hold on, this is frozen. Is it? No, it's not. Should be fine. But yeah, anyways, as I was saying, so this is where the market is most likely, well, not most likely, this is where the market is going to open around this level, which leaves behind a massive CME gap, but it's fine. It's not really an inefficient price action. But the reason why this is not very favorable is because we are coming back inside this range over here. Once we come back inside this range, the market is just going to balance itself out, right? We're just going to consolidate and offer two-sided price action here. There's nothing, you know, that's not going to be our most ideal scenario, but you know, what can you do? It's August, mid-August. August is nearly over soon. And hopefully, you know, it gives us better price action. But if you look at the previous 3 days, right? So Thursday, Friday, and Monday, we've had that expansion higher above our value, not our value area high, but above this range high, which was a good sign, right? Because then you would start to shift from a balanced state of delivery to an imbalanced state of delivery. However, if you fail to find acceptance above, like how we done here, and how we're going to start to open back inside this range, then that means these buyers over here were all responded, sellers, responsive selling, stepped in and took price lower. We failed to find acceptance above. That's what I was trying to say. So responsive sellers are protecting this level, come back inside the range. This is where the market is most optimal, right? Doesn't want to really move away from the markets here. This is the most optimal level for the market to be in. So let's see how the market opens. But for now, it seems like we might just start to consolidate again on the higher time frame. 25 people watching. Hello, welcome. Yes. Hello, Tausif. I am good, bro. How about yourself? Hello, MMNQES. What a name, mate. What a name. Dude, I need to sort on my Twitch, but I can't be bothered. Fuck the Twitch. How's NQES? Absolutely. Niche, bro. Niche. That's niche. But yeah, let's see what the market does today. Like always, I'm marking out the prior session levels. Value high, value low, volume point of control. This is the Monday's regular trading hours. When the market opens, we'll just have a fat gap at around 29,700. I have one question. What is the fee of my one-on-one mentorship? The fee varies, to be honest. It really just depends on where you're at with your trading. If you're interested in it, just check the link in the description where there's an application, and then, you know, we'll discuss in much more detail. What time frame is the chart on the left? This is the 30 seconds time frame. I don't use it. I'm mainly on the 80 range, but I use the 30 seconds to because extra chart is there's a bug with extra charts, right? Where the big trades doesn't show properly on the range chart. So I use the 30 seconds time frame chart just to double check and confirm everything. How do I decide on my key levels? Yeah, well, essentially the key levels are going to just be levels where you have a battle of orders. For example, value area, that represents 70% of total transactions facilitated. So when you think of it that way, this area is the most balanced range. The market doesn't want to go out of the balance range, right? The market is extremely balanced, is extremely optimal within this range here. So the value area high becomes a key level because passive sellers are going to protect it. Passive buyers are going to protect the lower levels, right? So in a sense, that becomes my key levels. And it's the same logic that applies to all of the other key levels. Can I send you money for a challenge account? Unfortunately, I'm skint. I'm absolutely broke, mate. Matter of fact, I should be asking you guys for donations. Ismail Futures. Let's make him a mod. Do I accept Pakistanis on your mentorship? I accept everyone. Everyone is welcome. You know, Pakistanis, Indians, Nigerians, Jews, Europeans, Americans, anyone. Am I looking for any sales closers for your mentorship? Unfortunately not, mate. I just learned footprint. Do you teach handprint as well? Good one, mate. Huge-anus. Wait, this is definitely... Hold on. Who is huge-anus? I just realized this isn't even a real person. This guy just stole my name. Do you always use value areas from regular trading sessions or ETH? Varies. Depends. Usually I use regular trading hours. But, you know, that's just something you have to test out. Because you do get good reactions off of extended electronic trading hour levels as well. Right, market should be open in 2 minutes. Let's see how much money we can make today. Is the music too loud? I feel like the music's too loud, guys. Hold on. Let me check. This guy just stole my name. No, the music isn't loud enough. Let me up it up a bit. 42. What's the difference between electronic trading? Regular trading hours is just 9:30 a.m. New York time to 4 p.m. New York time. Electronic trading hours or extended trading hours is just everything afterwards. Yeah, my chart's working. I'm just not moving it. I'm waiting for the market open. Oh wait, no. If you mean the price action, yeah, it doesn't move until 9:30, until New York bell, because I have mine set as CME regular trading hours. Can we copy your template? Yeah, it's right there. I don't really have like I don't have like a set template per se. The main thing I look at is just a 80 range chart, big trades. That's it. Everything else is pretty much just default. Is your chart... Music isn't loud, but I prefer no music personally. Well, shit. I think without, like, there'll be, especially in these conditions, sometimes I might just not talk. You know? So music might be good. But I'll take it into account for now. It's good background music, guys. It's good background music. You know, if you want to leave it, in the background, leave the stream in the background. And not listen to me yet, then you have the music. I can't turn it. I can't turn it quieter though. Alright, market is opened, as you would expect. Fat gap low. We are coming into a. Let me check volume profile. Alright, yeah, there are naked value areas here. So I wouldn't necessarily take into account yesterday's value area lows now because, you know, there's like a 300 point difference, 350 point difference. So the most significant and most immediate levels are going to be these naked value area highs, value area lows, and volume point of control. Right, naked just means it hasn't been tapped yet. So let me mark that out actually. Damn, nearly 30 people on stream. Very nice. 29743. 29582. And then you have a naked volume pump control at 29640. Right there. I would prefer if you played. Niche, bro. That's very niche. Okay, so this is the range we're currently playing in. Let's see what we get. If we find acceptance, since we're breaking above here, if we retest find acceptance, you could look too long to yesterday's mean reversion. Right, if it fails, then you're just looking to play within this naked range over here. Right, but let's see. Let's wait for the first 5-10 minutes of market open. Let volatility die down a bit. See what the market wants to do, and then we'll start reading what is happening. Essentially. Let me just give these charts a quick reload. If I copy your trade and lose, will you reimburse me? I don't know, mate. It depends. 30 people watching. Nice. Very nice, guys. Hopefully by the end of this year, we have... My goal for the end of this year is to have maybe like 1 million people watching. That'd be kind of cool. Actually, 1 million might be too much. Maybe like 900k. Fail to find acceptance. Fail to find acceptance. Back down into naked volume point of control. Low probability condition. Right, remember, we are already in. We're still in this like massive balanced range on the higher time frame. All right, so already we are entering low probability condition territory because here the market is two-sided. There's no clear one-sided control here. And if you come into like a naked level now, which by the way is the naked value area, then you have a balance range within a balance range. It's not going to be the highest probability. Yeah, I'm still a virgin because I never take L's. But for those who are wondering, what I'm drinking is a protein shake. Protein shake during the training session. Definitely achievable, by the way. I reckon you can get more views than World Cup. Yeah. I think I definitely can, guys. I definitely can. Heck yeah. Yes. Let me check if I've posted everything. How long have I been trading for? I've been trading for 4.5 years now. I think it's approaching 5 years. Yeah, I think it's approaching around 5 years now. All that protein is going to your ass, man. Would I do daily live streams? I want to. I currently stream with, but I also like, I do separate streams for my private students soon, and then I stream weekly with Chart Fanatics on Wednesday, and then Tuesday and Thursday I stream here, New York AM session. But I do want to stream daily. You know, if I can't stream New York AM session, then I'm down to stream New York PM session. Right, the PM sessions I'm pretty free, but we'll see. We shall see. For now, it's only Tuesday and Thursdays that I'm streaming every week on my personal channel. Wednesdays with Chart Fanatics. This is EXO charts. So let me type that in. EXO charts, since a lot of people struggle with like spelling that out. EXO charts. Yesterday's range messed you up. Which one are you talking about specifically? Like just the range in general? This one over here? Yeah, I mean, yesterday wasn't... There was some nice moves within this range. It was mainly rotational. But yeah, I didn't expect yesterday to be a ranging day. I was more so favoring like a continuation of the imbalanced state of delivery. Trump posting FUD on the minute of market open. What did he post this time? Trump, True Social. What he said? Trump tweet. True Social. What did he post? What did he post? What did he post? Let me try to load it up. There are no talks or conversations going on or scheduled with the Islamic Republic of Iran. The naval blockade remains in full force and effect. The Hormuz Strait is open and operating. All water mines have been removed or detonated. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Lovely. Right at 9:30. Right at 9:30. All right, let's see what we have here. Like I said, right, we're still playing within the naked value area. You're either going to do rotational plays or no plays at all. This is low probability. Until we've found acceptance above, then you can look for potential long, like the mean reversion. Yesterday's value area. Or if we fail to find acceptance and then buyers get absorbed, you can look to go short to volume point control. But anything in between, if you want to entertain it, you might as well donate me money. Because you're going to lose. Maybe not lose immediately, but you're not going to be consistently profitable. That's for sure. Because the market is extremely low probability within these ranges. SPY took so long. I was ready for bears earlier. Had to take an L from the current price action so far. Or yesterday's price action. Let me check what ES is showing. Pretty bad as well. Right. Ranging. Patience, guys. Patience. Patience pays. Patience pays. However, buyers do look in control here. Buyers do look in control. Let's see what we get with this candle. M12 candle should close in around 2 minutes. Like the way it's opening right now, the way it's forming, it doesn't look high probability for shorts. Large aggressive selling delta, which represents aggressive sellers, are indeed in control. And you could tell anyway from these large negative deltas. But look at how the candle is opening. These guys are all getting absorbed here. The candle closes in 55 minutes. There's a good chance we just close like this. Let's see. Which range is low probability in the value area? The entire range. The value area is going to be low probability. Right. Of course, if the value area is larger, then you could do miniature ranges within the value area. But theoretically speaking, generally speaking, your value area is always going to be a low probability range. That doesn't mean you take 0 trades within the area. You can take 0 trades, but it's going to be less high probability than if it was outside of the value area. Because when you're inside the value area, both buyers and sellers are satisfied. There's no clear one-sided direction. It's not really a battle of orders either. A battle of order is when you come into a key level, right? And this could be in a form of like passive selling protection. And then, you start to consolidate in here. This is where you get a battle of orders because you're coming into a key level. If you get a consolidation, but it's now like inside of a value area, where previously if it represents 70% of total transactions facilitated, this isn't a battle of order. This is the market finding acceptance. So that is two key things to differentiate. Right? When the market is consolidating within our value area, that is just acceptance. Well, let's see what we get here. So M12 has closed bullish now with aggressive sellers getting absorbed. Now I would be looking for a break and retest. And we'll see if we get that. I wouldn't necessarily want to short here. Just because, buyers seem much more in control at the moment. However, CVD is telling us a different story. Just realized. CVD is creating a lower high, whereas price has created a higher high. So even though that could represent buying exhaustion, by the way. The most ideal scenario for a break and retest is if CVD creates a higher high, because that means aggressive buyers were able to take overall control. After the range on R80. What do you mean? This, mechanically speaking, this is a short, by the way. But let me just wait it out and see. The only thing that puts me off at the moment is the previous M12 absorbing all of these aggressive sellers. Right, these aggressive sellers are pretty much trapped. That's the only thing that puts me off, but let's see. This is a mechanical short because you had buying absorption at the highs, selling initiation, you could enter there, targeting volume pump control. But I was looking for longs. Okay, my VWAP is not whoa, what happened there? Let me reload and view that. Yeah, my view did not get updated there, which was annoying. I enjoy every bit of your explanation, even without understanding it. I mean, dude, if there's anything you don't understand, just let me know, and then I can always explain it again. Do I use gamma exposure? No, I do not. I used to. I had it for like, I was testing it out for like 2 months. But then I realized the levels that it gave me pretty much aligns with my ranges anyway. So, you know, I didn't want to cluster my chart or cluster my analysis. Rather just keep it simple. Like, this is all you need, guys. Once you understand supply and demand, once you understand the market only has 2 states of delivery, everything else just becomes noise. Right? It just shows you the same thing in a different angle. Your explanations are really clear. I like it too. Proper mental. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate the kind words, guys. I try my best. There's enough liquidity in the markets for everyone to eat. Enough money for everyone to make. All right. Yeah, like I said, right? Mechanically, this was a good short. Mechanically speaking. Because whenever you're in a range, right? In this instance, we're in the value area range, the naked value area, you're just playing rotational plays. So you want to short at the highs, long at the bottom if you get confirmation. What indicators am I using? This is big trades. So I trade with order flow, footprint charts, delta clusters, volume profile, TPO. But this specifically is big trades. The right is the volume profile, the composite volume profile. The left is the composite delta profile. It is on TradingView. Well, this isn't on TradingView. Big trades isn't on TradingView. Volume profile, dynamic volume profile is on TradingView. Let me try to remember. Footprint charts are on TradingView. However, the data that is fed to TradingView is slightly different to like DXFeed or Rhythmic. So I would be wary of the data that is fed on TradingView. I just joined your Discord. Nice. Welcome to the Discord. Aren't you already in the middle of range? No, my confirmation is over here. Like, it always look at my secondary chart, right? The 30 seconds. You see how the axes, can you guys see the axes? Yeah, you see how the axes are like aligning with each other? The reason why I have the left chart open is because XO charts, there's a bug with XO charts not showing the big trades on the range chart. So I used the time frame chart to just like double check everything. Like if you see here, there is 66 aggressive sellers, 43 aggressive buyers, but that isn't showing on the range chart. Right? So this is my confirmation. Absorption at the highs, right? Absorption there. Initiation, pretty much entry like around here. And then you would look to target volume product control. Short at 750 with 5 minis, 5k done. Nice. Very nice. Good shit, man. All right, let's lock in. But yeah, like I said, mechanically, this was a good short. I didn't want to take it. I was favoring higher price action based on how the M12 closed. So now, when it comes back inside the volume point of control, you're going to get consolidation. The market is going to start to find acceptance around here, rather than a battle of orders. There's no doubt about it. So you don't want to entertain anything around here. just in the middle of the range. High. Let's see. Like you could already tell from this price action, we're pretty consolidated at the moment anyway. Right, for those who are new, like I said, previously we had this balanced range. Price comes in. The same thing is likely going to happen again. The market has a very good memory. When buyers and sellers were satisfied here, if we come back into this level, buyers and sellers are likely going to find satisfaction again. So it's going to most likely just range. You know, if you look at the composite volume profile as well, we do have low volume nodes over here. So what I'm referring to is the volume profile on the right. We do have a low volume node here, where if aggressive sellers take control, then we could dump to this low volume node. But if you look at where we are currently, right, current month's volume point of control, we're pretty much just overlapping that. We're pretty much in a level of high balance at the moment. Thoughts on long to target overnight VWAP. I'm not interested in longs until we break above the value area high and find acceptance. Right, I'm not interested in longs until we break above this level and then start to find acceptance above there. Then you could potentially look to target, you know, 30 grand, 30k. Is this Atus? No, this is ExoCharts. Row tick size for TPO. What was my TPO tick size? 20? That's the row tick size for TPO. Volume is 20 as well. Let's see. Big trades, I hover around 20 to 40. It really just depends. Like some days you have a lot of volume and then you have to adjust for it. But the rule of thumb is you want to filter it where you get the most information. So the most big trade bubbles, but not a lot where it overwhelms you. So do it to a point where you get 3 to 4 big trades at your highest candle. Or at the candle with the most bubbles. So for example, right, this is the candle currently with the most bubbles. But let's imagine, you know, there were like a couple more bubbles here. Like let's say there were 6 bubbles. I would increase the filter until my candle with the most bubble only shows, you know, 3 to 5. But it's pretty subjective. And I think it's mostly based on personal preference as well. Some platforms, they also do cumulative or single trades. So that is also something to note for as well. If it's cumulative, then you just have to adjust relatively. Right? Because cumulative would just tend to show you more a higher quantity of big trades. In the sense that because this is single, this is only showing 120. If it was cumulative, it might show 120 plus 43, which is, you know, 163. So yeah, do your filters based on that as well. But you know, nothing's random, guys. It's exactly like I said. You get a you know, a consolidation around here. You don't necessarily want to use volume point of control as a rejection level. Let's see. You know, expansion plays aren't going to happen here. You're only looking for quick rotational plays. Until we break below this level and find acceptance and then break further below, then, you know, there's not much going on. You're not going to expect those large expansion plays. So you're better off taking quick scalps at the range highs and range lows. Now that we've seen this price action. Right, this price action over here pretty much confirms it.
Take me
Why is overnight expanding a lot and New York not at all last month? Because when you have a large expansion pre-session, then there's a good chance you're not going to get that expansion follow through. As to why the overnight session is expanding a lot, I don't really have like a clear one answer. NQ just does what it does. Marcus just does what it does. Trump just does what he wants. Right? But whenever you have like a large expansion, like let's say this happened during the overnight session, most of the time as you come into New York, you're going to get consolidation. Because the market can't just expand in one market phase forever. Right? It either has to retrace or consolidate, find acceptance, and so on. Because when you think of it from like an auction market theory standpoint, or from an order flow standpoint, the large aggression higher in this instance, or the large expansion higher in this instance, means it was very one-sided. So when you draw a low volume node, when you draw a volume profile, the majority of this is going to be a low volume node, which indicates aggressive buyers took control and overwhelmed aggressive sellers, and there wasn't a lot of passive selling supply anyway. So the market expanded higher to satisfy the overwhelming buying demand. As a result, this entire price range over here is inefficient. This expansion is inefficient because there wasn't clear two-sided auction here, right? There was no balanced ranges here. There was no clear two-sided auction. Hence why eventually the aggressive buying demand is going to die out in the form of exhaustion. Aggressive sellers are likely going to step in. And then the question becomes whether we reverse from here because responsive buyers step in and, they initiate lower, or sellers step in, buyers start to get exhausted, and then you start to find acceptance where both buyers and sellers are satisfied with this level. Most of the time, just based on timing, based on how it happens, because it happens overnight, you're going to get that consolidation during New York session, right? It's just basic market mechanics, right? Like I said, volume pump control, you're not getting large movements, right? You get large bubbles, you get large orders here, and the volume increases, but you don't get large movement because this is showing acceptance. Volume point of control is acceptance, right? This was previously the single level where the most volume occurred, where the most volume was facilitated. So the market is extremely fair here. I don't know how well my kick stream is going. I don't know how to read any of this. It says there's 2 viewers on Kick. And I need to set it up on Twitch as well. How's the quality for you guys, by the way? Is it blurry or is it good? If it's good, then I might try to decrease the bitrate again to 6,000 so I can stream on Twitch. But let's see. Do I have a full response when supply and demand flips are reliable and when they are not? Let me read that again. Do you have a full response to when are reliable and when they're not? I mean, that's what big trades are for. Like, any level you have is always going to be uncertain, right? Anytime you break above a level is always going to be uncertain. No one knows for sure whether a level holds or not. That's why, the big trades come into play. That's why you have your confirmation. Because when you get a flip, you're looking for that absorption. You're looking for that initiation. And then that is where you enter, stop loss below there, ride the highs to, and ride the highs. But every single level, there's no clear, there's setups that you would have. And there's confirmations. But it's never going to give you like 100% certainty on whether they're reliable or not. Like even when you do have a successful flip where you get a retest, absorption, initiation, it could still reverse lower again and give you a second retest before continuing higher or reversing lower. So none of the levels are for certain. You got more water. The only good short was here. Right, like I said, to target volume point control. So far, there's nothing else. Market price action is pretty dry for now, but let's see. Hopefully we break below this low and then we can start to look for a imbalanced state of delivery for shorts. But for now, sitting on your hands. Sit on your hands. That's the best thing you could do in these market conditions. August should be over soon, guys. Don't worry. Hang in there. We have 3, 15, 10, 1, 2, 3, plus 5, 8, 9. 9 more trading days until August comes to an end. Playing below VWAP now. You know, shorts would look really good here. Break and retest lower. What, DX feed? It depends on what level you need. If you're just using footprint charts, big trades, volume profile, TPO, so basically like historic data and not depth of market, then you could just get top of book. You could get level 1 data. You could get away with level 1. You don't need level 2. Will I be sharing my extra chart settings? For the main stuff like tick rows and stuff on volume profile, TPO, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't mind, but the reason why I don't is because it changes. Like I change a lot of my settings every now and then, pretty regularly, just to accommodate for different market conditions. So even if I do share it, like next week, it might be outdated. Exactly. Remember, taking no trade is a trade, guys. Never forget that. Your number one job as a trader is to preserve capital. Making money comes next. Once you successfully preserve capital, and once you learn how to not blow your flipping account, then that is where you will start making money as a byproduct. It's as simple as that. Right, you see this entire price action? I told you. You're not going to get any clear price action at the volume path control. Single level, most volume, facilitated. Nothing there. Let's check. Let's see what the 1 minute looks like on NQ. Volume profile. Again, we're just building value. You know, we are just building value. Can you guys hear my chair squeak or no? Like, I don't know how good or bad my mic is. I mean, my mic is pretty good, but I don't know how good the noise suppression is. But like, can you hear the squeak? Secret Lab's so squeaky, bro. Okay, let's reload this. ES is the same, right? ES is pretty much just dead as well. 1 minute on NQ. Again, not much there. Not much happening there. Like I said, the only good trade was this short, mechanically speaking. Do I use previous week and previous month's naked volume levels? Yes, I do. But sometimes I forget to use it, I'll be honest. It doesn't play too much of a significance on my scalping. But I would definitely take it into account. Number bubbles. Yeah, these are just the aggressive orders filtered. It's the same as like a footprint chart or delta, yeah, footprint chart, bid and ask. But this just filters out, you know, a single order. So here, you had a single order of aggressive buying contracts at 114. Not at 114, off 114. Market's coming back into volume point of control. Like, volume point of control is a good TP, but is not a good entry point. The reason why it is a good TP is because the market naturally gravitates towards this level. But when we come back into the level, the reason why it doesn't become a good rejection point is because it was a level of acceptance. Yeah. This chart is making me fall asleep. Jeez. We should all take a nap together. See what the M12 shows. CVD is flat as well. CVD is flat as well, guys. So also take that into account. Usually when you have like consolidation in term with price and CVD is aggressively one side, or, you know, aggressively lower or aggressively higher, then that is an early indication that we might potentially get a breakout to the downside or to the upside. But if CVD is flat and price action is flat and you're inside value area and you're inside the higher time frame balance range and you're hovering around the volume point of control, then good night. It's literally good night. There'll be no setups there. Yeah, my volume profile is set to day. So current developing day of regular trading hours. Delta, composite delta is set to past 30 minutes. Trading isn't always sunshine and rainbows, guys. Most of the time, this is what's going to happen. This is why I have the background music. Do I ever use limit entries with footprints? No. I tend to just market execute. So I enter with ATM orders. So when I execute, my stop loss and take profit is already... Well, not necessarily take profit, but my stop loss is already defined. Because I'm on the 80 range chart. So each of my candle from the low to the high or the high to the low is going to be approximately 20 points. So that way I always know like around roughly how much my stop is in terms of points. So I could just market execute. But yeah, limit entries I never do. It's too time consuming for scalping. And also like a lot of times the market, especially with the 80 range, and especially when you're in an imbalanced state of delivery, it just fucks off. Right? If I try to find an example, like let's say, let's go to Thursday last week. When you have, right, 80 range. Let's say you had a setup. Yeah, this was a setup, right? So if you look at the, I don't know if you guys can see that. No, you can't. Right? But you're going to take my word for it. This is 9:45. And then the next candle is 9:45.08. So between this candle's open to this candle's open, it was only 8 seconds. And then this one is freaking 16. So another 8 seconds. And then this is like 30 seconds. So when you're trading the 80 range charts, the candles move really fast in an imbalanced state of delivery. So, you know, that's why I use limits. Did I enter already? No, there's nothing here at the moment. We're still waiting. You know, volume point control, low probability. Like I said, the only good trade was this one over here, mechanically speaking, into our volume point of control. Apart from that, everything else is kind of eh. It's kind of donate money to the market's territory. What was I patient all the time? Was I this patient all the time? Nope. You know, like you guys, like a lot of you, right? When I first got into trading, I thought I'd be rich overnight. I thought I'd become a millionaire, and I was just spamming trades. I had no patience. I was revenge trading all the time. And yeah, this was like the first 1 or 2 years. And then slowly, as you get better with market reps, as you put in more reps into the market, you just get used to the price action. You get used to what the market gives you, right? Because like you can only do it so many times where you revenge trade and you're chasing price all the time until you realize that you're actually just not making any money because of it. So yeah, sometimes I am still impatient, right? Human emotions, you can't really get rid of them fully. The best way is just to suppress them. As you get better with trading, as you spend more time with trading on the charts, you become better at naturally suppressing it. And that's something I realized. Like, I don't think I remember the last time I even revenge traded or was impatient to a setup, to be honest. Let's see. If you get buying follow through here, then again, is mechanically a good long, depending on how this candle closes. If this candle closes bullish and then you get a follow through with the next candle, then mechanically speaking, it is a setup. However, when you're looking at, despite this being the value area low, when you're looking at the M12, do you want to long this? I don't know. I'd rather short. I don't know about you, but I would rather short. But let's see. Like even here, you get aggressive selling that would temporarily not getting rewarded, but buyers are still lacking the follow through here. Do you get this? But let's see. Right, and that's completely smoked now. So I'm not even interested in this anymore. Because you had no follow through. Absorption stalls price. Initiation moves price. Right? Passive sellers, passive buyers, they just stall the market. They just provide liquidity to the market. But if you have absorption and there's no follow through with aggression, then the market isn't going to move. It moves based on the supply and demand. But what actually moves is the demand. Because the supply will always be there. If there's no demand, then the supply will just stack up. It won't move the market. Average risk per trade. Personal average risk is around 2 to 3 R. And then prop firms is a lot lower. Because prop firms are mainly capitalizing on a high win rate, low risk to reward strategy. Generally speaking, a lower win rate will give you a higher win rate. Generally speaking. That's not the case for everything, but The reason why I have different risk to reward on prop firms is because of the risk of ruin. The risk of ruin being how many slots you have or how many chances you have until you blow the account. Obviously, with a personal, I have my entire balance. With prop firms, you have a max drawdown, trailing drawdown, and daily drawdown. So hence why a higher win rate strategy is going to be much better. Right, you could also tell from like looking at the footprint bar statistics. You have aggressive buying here within this candle, and aggressive sellers were absorbed. But the next candle, minus 47. There was no follow through with aggressive buyers. I want to see us retest and then break again. I'm not going to go short straight off the bat here, because there's still a chance that aggressive buyers step in. So yeah, if we break below this level, then there's a potential for a short there. If we get the buying absorption again. Do I perform good as a scalper in imbalanced markets? Yes. I think even if you're not a scalper, imbalanced markets will always be more favorable for most people. Right, because the market is really easy to just go on the right side of the market when it is imbalanced. You just have to catch a small piece of that move. Yeah, when you're in balance, it is hard to find entries with no pullbacks. But when you don't have, like, if you have no entries, you just have to accept it. Like, the way I enter is pretty aggressive anyway, so I don't really miss that many entries. But, you know, you're not going to get all your entries. And that's also another psychology thing as well. If the market moves without you, never chase it. So it's hard because you want to force an entry rather than the imbalanced market condition itself is actually hard for you because you don't get a pullback. It becomes easy once you stop stressing yourself out with trying to capitalize on every imbalanced move. If an imbalanced move happens and you don't have a pullback for an entry, then just accept it. That's the easiest way to trade an imbalanced market. And then when you do have an entry, then you could ride on that move. Right, like I said, there was a good chance we get the rejection from the value area low, but I'm not really looking too long. And also, there was no confirmation here for me anyway. No, so even though I'm on like a lower time frame or a lower range chart to scalp, I'm not hyper scalping. I'm still being selective with my trades, especially within these market conditions. In actual good market conditions, I could get up to like 5 to 10 trades a day. But, you know, you see how there's a drastic change from like 5 to 10 to like 1 to 2. I'm in from freezer. Damn. It's pretty high up. Freezer. Are you talking about CFDs? Because I don't think futures came up to there yet. Unless you mean yeah, you talking about CFDs? I don't think we've even hit that yet. 303110. 30310. Hopefully this move higher is short-lived and we continue lower. Break below this low. Absorption. Entry right there. Ideal scenario. Ideal scenario. Oh, okay, I see. BTCC exchange? I don't think I've heard of that. BTCC. Yeah, I've never heard of this. It just looks like every other exchange to me. But yeah, I think the price feeds on those will be different to futures. Entry was yesterday? Yes, solid. Solid trade. Dude, this light is like so bright. Hold on. Let me adjust this light. This light is insane. Okay. That just got turned off. Nope, that's too dark. Let's make it more warm. It's drying my eyes out. Keep it like this. Because after the stream, I need to fix the Twitter stream. I'm trying to multi-stream on Twitter and Twitch at the same time as well. My Twitch is, let me type it with 2 S. because I can't get the bloody... Bro, the username that I'm trying to get, Hugh Trades, is so hard. Ugh. Like, it's literally taken. So I have to do double S for now. Unless someone gives me a better username. But Twitch, like if you're watching my YouTube stream, just stay on YouTube. Because YouTube is the main streaming platform. Twitch Kick X is going to just be like multi-stream. So it's the same thing that you see on YouTube. It's just streamed on there as well. I'm preferring shorts at the moment. I want to see shorts. Based on just the market context, but in our current regime, in our current market regime, both sides, you know, is high probable because you're playing a rotational market. Do I need a video editor? Not at the moment. Not at the moment. I think I need to hire like editors and graphic designers soon though. Haven't gotten around to doing it. I've had like video editors and graphic designers in the past, but they don't really understand trading. It was more like just random people that were just good at making shit. So the graphics looked good and the videos looked good, but there was no context behind it. There was no good context or understanding of trading. Holy. I'm deadass falling asleep from this price action. Let me check out how the music is. Never chase it. So it's hard because you want to force an entry rather than... Oh yeah, how's my new mic, by the way? Is my new mic good, guys? Better than the old one? I think the old one was just super muffled. This one I think should sound more clear, hopefully. But I need to change all the equalizers and compressors and stuff. It's such a pain. I need to get an audio mixer. But let me know if it's good. I kind of like it. Nice, crisp. Should sound extremely professional. I am planning to learn trading. Well, my friend, the best course of action for you is to... Oh, video editing. Yeah, I mean, video editing is a good skill to have. Pretty useful. Especially if you trade full time. Yeah, you could pick up as a hobby for outside session. Otherwise, you lose your mind. Getting a large bounce. Let's see. ES, don't even touch ES. If you're trading like the trio NQ YM ES, the best trades today are going to come from either NQ or YM. YM has been pretty, you know, you've had some expansion there. Right. ES is the middle one. Very slow movement on ES. Unless you're doing rotational plays. And Q is starting to get an expansion here. So let's see what it does. Like you can, if we break above VWAP, there is a potential for a break and retest. And then you can look to target the value error high. Since we failed to find acceptance below value error low. So, you know, this could look good for a break and retest to value error high. But let's see how the market does. New York VWAP, yeah, I mean everything. So I have CME regular trading hours on all my charts. So all the indicators, all the indicators will be based on regular trading hours. Full porting, whatever you call. I would highly recommend against it. Such a bad market condition. Do you think it would be better when midterms and the next Fed meeting? I mean, hold on. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Like going into Q4, the transition from summer to Q4 tends to always give good market conditions from my experience. But, you know, you got to understand that we are in the peak of summer, the height of summer. There's uncertainty with, you know, the Strait of Hormuz, Iran, Trump. You know, August itself is already like a really low volume month. So yeah, I mean, like you could also see it on the price on the chart itself. Anyway, I'm just trading the technicals. I don't really care about the fundamentals. Like, of course, I'm aware of them, but fundamentals I think are just catalysts for what is already priced in. Technicals, and it already shows on technicals. But yeah, hopefully it does get better after summer. Sometimes I think if you were not in trading field, you'd probably be a beatboxing champion. Is that because I speak too fast? I can speak I can speak slower, but I think I'm naturally a fast speaking person. But let me know if you guys don't like understand. Sometimes my accent might be hard to understand, depending on, you know, what you think of my accent. I don't even know if I have a British accent. I'm going to attempt a long here if we close bullish and see where that gets us. Price doesn't really look like it's moving, but might take a bet. And you know, target value error high or 29700s for props. Just playing off of the break and retest on VWAP and failure to accept below here. That's if this candle closes bullish. If it doesn't, then there's no entry. SPY and QQ should be similar because futures is the underlying. NQ is the underlying asset. NQ and ES. In terms of like to the exact amount, I'm not too sure. I haven't looked. But it should be similar. Right, let's see if these aggressive buys get rewarded here. Right, we have a large aggressive buying bubble. If they get rewarded, could attempt a long here. Just want to see how this candle closes. CVD is increasing as well, right? CVD has now created a higher high. So aggressive buyers are clearly in control. Don't really want to see them get absorbed here. Alright, gonna enter there. Let's see. If this VWAP level fails, then, you know, it will likely be a stop loss. I want to see this VWAP hold here. If it fails, then we're back to low probability conditions. This level should act as a protective level. Previous level of aggressive selling absorption, so passive buys should step back in. Didn't have the best entry on prop firms. I think my entry on prop firms was somewhere around here. Stops is around the same, but yeah. Might get taken out anyway. $2,719. Right. So these are my two positions. First one is personal, second one is prop firms. Let's see if this one plays out. I'm not too confident on this playing out. Because ideally we should see a large expansion higher by now. But let's see. These aggressive buyers are still getting absorbed. So once we break above this level, we should get a pump higher. Are we in, chat? Are we in? Yes, we are in, chat. First trade of the day. Let's see how this one plays out. Like I said, if VWAP fails, then it's going to be low probability. If VWAP fails, low probability, we're going to get taken out. If this level fails, right, this high over here, and we break above this level, we're going to get a pump higher. CVD is on our side though. CVD is on our side. At this point, I'm not even aiming for more than 15 to 20 points. Yeah. You want to, like, rotational plays. This is the only internal level I'm going to play off. Apart from that, right, taken out. -1R. Now it's going to be low probability. Right, because you enter volume point of control. But yeah, as I was saying, you don't want to really aim for, like, a high TP anyway. Within these market conditions, you want to just do quick scalp plays, right? Quick in and outs. It's most likely just going to hover around here. Right, like I said, if the VWAP fails, not the best high probability condition anymore. Unless we break above this level. And then you have another break and retest. Then you could look for the same thing again. Right, you could look for a secondary attempt to value error high. The distance between here is around 40 points. So there is sufficient distance for the take profit. But apart from that, not much there. Oh, this light is literally killing my eyes. It's making it so dry. But then if I turn it off, it's too dark. Let's try and make it more orange. No, that's completely shuts off. Oh, you're talking about options. A fat seller here. Absolutely fat. But you see how the market like just doesn't move? Golly. Give me good price action, please. Might take a vacation soon. Might take a vacation for August at this rate. What a lovely profile. We are literally just centered. Just centered. Volume point of control building at the center of this profile. The last thing you want to do now is dig a hole for yourself. You don't want to dig a hole for yourself in these conditions. My new mic good, guys? Better than the old one. Oh yeah, how's my new mic doing? Is my new mic good, guys? Oh, we're chilling. Back to volume point of control. We should play some games. Who wants to see a Roblox stream? Stream Roblox. I'm thinking of like streaming on weekends as well. To like mess around with crypto. But let me know what you guys think. It will be the same strategy, same framework, same everything, just different asset. I haven't traded crypto in a while. The last time I checked, it was absolutely shit. Absolutely dog water. I want to know about your trading journey. I mean, yeah, I started trading in... I found out about trading in lockdown, like most people, but I found it through GameStop and shit coins back then, right? Doge coins. But I didn't really look into it fully until like after 1 or 2 years when I turned 18. Then I started to, you know, really study trading, baby pips, ICT concepts, SMC, started with Forex. And then after 2 years of that, after 1 year of that, 1.5 year, I switched to price action trading. And then with indices, still on CFDs, but it was this time with US 100, US 500, which is just NQ and ES. And then last year I switched to futures and order flow. And that's pretty much my journey. Like, I've just been trading for 4.5 years. 4.5 years, first 2 to 2.5 years were unprofitable. And then after 2.5 years, started to see results. And then every day, just getting more consistent than the previous day. And here we are. Now 21, graduated uni, and I trade full time. Unfortunately. I hate this shit. I used to love trading when I was younger, because when you first come into trading, everything's new to you, and you know you're grinding every weekend, every day, just to learn all the concepts. And you used to get the euphoria and the dopamine rush from executing. But like once you become consistent and you're seeing good results, which is a byproduct of good trading, it's super boring. Do I scalp crypto? Yes, I used to. I don't necessarily spot buy or like swing crypto. The most I'd do is probably intraday, but that's still on like the 1 hour or 15 minute. If I was to trade crypto again, I'll probably just scalp it. This is EXO charts. This platform is EXO charts. EXO charts. Just a reminder, guys, I will be streaming again on Thursday. I am in the process of figuring out when I should stream New York PM session. I mean, ideally, I want to just stream almost daily. It's pretty fun. Right, but let's focus on Tuesday and Thursday. Yeah, so Tuesday and Thursdays are definite stream days. Right, I'm streaming New York session every Tuesday and Thursday. And then New York PM session, I'm still thinking about that. Might do Wednesday New York PM session. So that is something to look out for. But I don't really trade New York PM session. Well, I don't really like it. Because by then I've already been on the charts for like hours. But I don't mind doing it. It would be a chill session. But yeah, let me know. Let me know what you guys think. If this value area wasn't here, so let's pretend You never existed. This would be the range. Range high, range low. What is the meaning of consistency in your way? I want to know, like, what consistent exactly is. I mean, when people say consistently profitable, that just means they make money. But that's like a really simple way to put it. I think being consistent in trading is showing up every day and being consistent, having grit and being consistent with your edge. So you're consistently trading. I mean, you're consistently executing your edge flawlessly. You're rarely making any, of course, mistakes do happen, but you're rarely making any mistakes that cost your entire account. Because my first 2.5 years of trading, I used to blow accounts left and right. Blow accounts left and right. There were small accounts because I used to buy the small prop firm accounts, but you know, I was still blowing them regardless. And then, you know, once I started to see the results, I realized it was a byproduct of my consistency in other aspects of life, not just trading, and also trading. So I was just more consistent with everything. Right? Yeah. Like what Mazinta said, discipline, patience, not revenge trading. When you become consistent with that, the money will come as a byproduct. Like without a doubt. Even if it takes, if you have like a losing month, like your entire month is red, but you stay consistent with your setup, you stay consistent with your plan, then you will make money very soon. The reason being is because if you're able to stay consistent with that, the reason why you didn't make money and the reason why, you know, you had a red month, which by the way, having a red month is completely normal. But let's say, you know, you only account for that 1 month and you're only looking at that 1 month, right? For example, then what stopped you from making money is just your edge, right? You just need a better strategy or a better edge. But everything else is pretty solid. Once you have a better edge, then, you know, it becomes easy. Can one connect and trade props on extra charts? Unfortunately, not at the moment. I do note they are in the... They applied for Rhythmic connections, if I remember correctly. But they are in the process of like getting that all approved and stuff. For now, no. And I don't have a date for that either. I think if I had to guess personally, as someone who does not work at ExoCharts, but have kept up with their updates and stuff, and their Discord server, they say it should be coming soon. My guess is probably end of this year, or maybe the start of next year. But that is a very long time. So if you want to trade like on the same order flow platform you're going on, then... Did I only become profitable after using order flow? Order flow helped a lot, but order flow, you got to realize, isn't a holy grail. I was profitable with normal price action, right? Like I had over 5 figures in payouts at the end of last year, just trading price action. So, you know, price action does work. It's just that I wanted to understand why certain stuff happens, right? Why the market moves in a certain way, and you know, why certain candle formations, why patterns happen. And that is where order flow comes into play. Because it just becomes, when you're looking at order flow, when you're studying auction market theory, you realize everything is just an auction. And all of the market like patterns, all of the patterns that happen as a result, it is a result of order flow. What strategy? Like, I wouldn't call it ICT. It was more like... ICT is a very broad term. There was a lot of strategies assigned to ICT, but I was just mainly on the 1 hour. And then, you know, if you have a swing failure pattern, so let's say you have this candle. Okay, I'm never going to draw a candle. Right, but hourly, this is a... You make a swing point. Right, like let's say there's a swing point here. You break below, price closes back above, or you know, price sticks out, and then you get that confirmation. Market structure break. Long, go higher. That was basically my entry in a nutshell on the hourly time frame. And I was of course using Power 3 as well. So hourly, and then I would have a daily narrative, like a daily bias. If we were going to, if I was looking for higher price action, I would wait for obviously the manipulation lower. on the hourly in the form of a swing failure pattern, right? Let's pretend there's a swing here, and then look to go long, market structural break, long, stop loss, rider high. Right, that was basically my price action trade in a nutshell. It's really simple, and that's what I like. You know, trading, just keep it simple. You can make money with any strategy. Most strategies work. You just have to stick with one and keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Let's see. Here's what I'm looking for. Either we come down and then sellers get absorbed, or we break below, retest, and continue lower. That is the ideal scenario for me. That is the most ideal scenario. Come on, price. Do something. Do something. Right, let's see. If we get absorption here, followed by initiation, looking to go long. If we break below, I'm looking for a retest. You enter short on this tip? Or this tip? Give me a nice runner. We are now entering an imbalanced state of delivery. Right? So ideal. This is where you get runners. If these buyers don't get rewarded. But I'm a bit wary because this entire move lower, look at CVD, it's been flat. So, oops, let's see. Gonna enter short here. See how it plays out. Stops at the value low. This is going to be my last trade of the day. It's pretty aggressive, but let's see. Oh, yeah. Aggressive buyers are stepping in. Let's see if they get rewarded or not. We are getting a battle orders here. Right, as long as this level holds, we should continue lower. As I draw it out, price starts to come back to this level. This isn't good. Don't want to see this. Gonna shave my stops to this high now. Right, I don't want to. I really don't want to see price come back and revisit these levels. Because if it does, then you know it shouldn't. It likely won't expand lower. So yeah, I mean, I pretty much reduced my risk by around 0.6. So there's only 0.4 on the table. Yeah, the reason why I don't want price to revisit this area is because once we've broken out of the value area low or value area high, you are theoretically in an imbalanced state of delivery. This is where you want fast price action. You don't want price to hover around. Let's see if we can break below this level. Once we break below, then we should get that dump lower. Right, out on prop firms. Wait, not yet, not yet, not yet. Teased it by a couple points. Why am I take profit on this? Take profit on props was a bit lower. Alright, I'm out. Out on prop firms. +1R. Still in this on personal. Stops are shaved though. They're pretty much almost break even. Let's see. Want this level to go. Right, TP's hit on prop firms. Until we've fully closed below this level, then I'm not going break even yet. I'm pretty much like near break even anyway. If I take this loss on personal, it's just 0.2R. But I really want to see this low get taken out. You see, like, this isn't the type of price movement you want when you are in a imbalanced state of delivery. It's really not the type of price action you want. You want fast movements. You want fast. Once we close below this low, there's a good chance we just dump to 29,500. Right, and that's the dump I want to see. Okay, now you can start to trail to this high. Yeah, remember, I'm out on prop firms already. Still in this on personal. My stops are trailed to this high over here. And that would put me in, you know, small profit. See, when CVD is flat, any large expansion plays you have is going to just get sunk, like absorbed. Not absorbed, sorry, soaked up, right? It's going to get soaked. And heavily suppressed. You want to really see negative CVD here. You want cumulative volume delta to be extremely negative if you was to get that large dump lower. When it's flat and you break out of, you know, a value area low or value area high, where it should transition from a balanced state of delivery to an imbalance, that isn't a good sign. Okay, I'm out for that. Out of that for small take profit. So +1R, and then, you know, pretty much 0.3R if you even want to count it. But yeah, not the best for an expansion phase. And you know, that's going to happen when you're in these type of conditions. CVD, cumulative volume delta, not CBD. It's the one below. Right, and it's looking at, you know, the cumulative delta here. So delta is the difference between aggressive buyers and aggressive sellers. If it's positive, then aggressive buyers are in control. If it's negative, then aggressive sellers are in control. And each candle, if you look at my footprint bar statistic, each candle is going to give you the total delta between those candles. And CVD takes into account the overall total of, you know, all of these candles together. And that creates, you know, its own price range, price action. Right, so when CVD is flat, it means both buyers and aggressive sellers are able to like battle out. Like, it's a battle orders. There's no clear one-sided direction yet. If it retested with absorption and initiation, would it still be valid? No. Because we've had this large rejection away from the low here. I would want to see this low get taken out. Right, based on current market conditions, I want to see this low get taken out for a valid entry. Was that 30% on this ended up BE? Yeah, I mean, CVD is flat. We're in a massive range. Not massive, but we're in a balanced range again. Value is building in the middle. It's typical price action. Does lower price action mean there's a high chance of target getting hit as compared from 930? What do you mean? What does... Wait, but let me go back to Daniel's question, right? The reason why I wouldn't wait for the retest wouldn't be as valid anymore is because we haven't had a clear break below value area low yet. Right. I believe it's similar to what we discussed yesterday. Like, when you break below the value area low, I always want to see that retest and then we break below that passive protection level, then, you know, these retest plays are going to be valid, right? These retests here, these retests there. But because if you look at this current candle or this current price action, we didn't really get a retest. Like, I was aggressive with it because we had this absorption here. I wanted to see us expand lower, pretty much. Based on how, you know, we just consolidated for the majority of the session. So I thought we'd get that expansion lower, and that's why I was more aggressive with it. But what does order flow show you that candlesticks don't? Wouldn't aggressive buyers just correlate to an aggressive move up and vice versa? Same thing with absorption with the move doesn't slow down. That's the thing. Like, of course, aggressive buyers, a lot of times you do get initiation, and that's why the candle moves in that level, or the candle closes like that. But you are missing out on this. For example, here, right? If you look at this candle, you have a large aggressive seller. But look at how the candle closes. And this just adds more fine tune. Like, you know, like Xora says, it's the details. It's the little details that make a high probability setup. When you have something like this means sellers are absorbed here. So when you take a long here, the chances of sellers stepping back in is going to be less likely, as they previously tried to step back in, but they didn't get rewarded. So they get absorbed. As opposed to, like, just, let's say you enter off of, let me find an example, if I could even find one. But, like, hypothetically speaking, let's say you just enter off of, like, this candle where the candle closes bullish and you don't see order flow, you don't see the big trades. You would just assume that, you know, aggressive buyers to control, blah, blah, blah. But you're not seeing who is actually in control here, because even though aggressive buyers take control, it doesn't show you the footprint of aggressive sellers. Even though sellers didn't come back into this candle, there's a chart that means aggressive sellers are still present in the future, right? There's no clear sign. That's why a break and retest is so good, in my opinion, because when you break it above like a high, and then, okay, hold on, when you break above a high and then you get a retest with selling absorption at the retest, that means this entire move lower was filled with aggressive sellers. And for example, this high could have passive sellers as well. But as we come into this level and the sellers start to get absorbed, this means the sellers are exhausted now. They become trapped, and this becomes a high probability setup to go long. That's what you don't see on the normal candlestick charts, right? You're not seeing, yes, you know, based on how the candles close, you could assume that however it closed, for example, if it closes bullish, buyers took control. If it closes bearish, sellers took control. But it doesn't show you, like, what the battle of orders was like, is what I'm trying to say. Because here, this is another example. You don't get a slowdown. Matter of fact, a lot of times when the absorption happens, it happens at the very high or at the very low of the candle. But yeah. Let's see if we can break below this level. Wouldn't look for a long here. Just want to be fair in short. This is going to be a resist support level. This is the support. And also this one over here. All good. 514 crypt. Yeah. retest, see if these buys get absorbed. And then you can look to go short. If they don't get absorbed, then it becomes a problem. Becomes a big problem. All right, let's see if this setup plays out. If it comes back inside his range, then no longer interested. No longer interested in that bullshit. Gonna give it 4 more minutes. Well, 3 more minutes now. Yeah, this is NQ. NQ is my bread and butter. Sometimes I look at ES, but most of the time I just look at NQ. Right, doesn't look like anything's gonna set up. So you're gonna just call it a session here, guys. Right, pretty break even, you know. 1 loss, 1 winner. On props, 1 small winner on personal. Pretty much a break even day today. Yeah, I will see you guys next, no, not next Thursday. On Thursday, in 2 days. Same time, 2:15 p.m. BST, 9:15 a.m. EDT. I don't know about EST. 9:15 EDT to EST. Oh, 8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah. Amazing, amazing. Cool. Cheers, guys. Take care and trade safe. Don't blow your account for the last 30 minutes of the session. Don't blow your account. But yeah, take care, guys. Gonna end the stream here and see you on Thursday.